Hey guys, it's Coffin. We've got this new pet, the final new pet. Maybe we'll have new pets in the future, but at the very least, this is the last pet that has a question mark on it. And it's called Electra. Pretty interesting. He has an aura, it has a ricochet attack, and the damage isn't that big, but it has pretty good attack speed. So, how should we use him? How does he look? Let's look at how he looks. I think his original skin looks pretty awesome. It's electric bluish, something like that, purplish. I think that looks awesome. He has two skins at the moment. Ooh, he has a fiery one. I actually think if you put him with blue fire, that would probably be the best skin possible. But hey, I like the fiery skin. It's like a phoenix, sort of a, but he's a hawk, not a phoenix. Right, and he has a third one. This one actually looks like a hawk. It's my least favorite one, but it's still decent. Right? I don't like brown; it just doesn't stand out as well. So I really want the fiery blue skin, if they can make one. You guys can unlock this in Season Pass or Dungeon Pass, so just do your dailies and stuff. Okay, let's take a look at how good he is and then where we can use him. So, Aura of the Talon increases hunter damage by 20%. This is less than the other pets in percentage-wise because of which part of the damage they're improving. So, for example, this guy, I forgot his original name, but I call him Bug Hater for some reason. And then he has a Poisonous Aura, which increases poison by 50%. However, this Aura of Talon only increases Hunter's damage by 20%. But here's the thing, increasing the Hunter's damage by 20% also increases any fire, any poison by 20% as well, because the damage you're dealing, the damage dealt by poison or fire is based on your last attack. And if your last attack is 20% stronger, then your fire or your poison will also be 20% stronger, right? But also the damage you deal from just simply attacking will also be 20% stronger. So this is kind of like an everything aura, and the problem with this is that when you have a lot of gear, like I have Dark Forest, I'll always put something like Earth, stones, because each of these dungeons have like a weakness of like poison or fire, and or earth or fire, and each time you have a pet that specializes in whatever set that you're doing. So the only one, I haven't been to Fractum, so I don't know if that's the case, but the only set that would probably be okay with is probably like if you have, where is this? Distance. There we go. So if I have Anubis, right? However you say it, and you have no idea who you're gonna be putting it with, then maybe instead of poison, you just take out everything and just put normal tentacles and damage, because you have no idea if poison's gonna be good in Abyssal Dark Forest, right? Because Abyssal Dark Forest is kind of random in terms of whether they have good. Let's see. Yeah, like they has in level 1 you have 80% poison burn, but then they have like different percentages, and you have no idea which one is which. So you may just end up, if you're using Anubis, right? If you're using this guy, he's gonna eventually scale up his damage anyways. You don't need earth, you don't need fire, you don't need poison. They help, it's just not necessary. So if you want like a distance setup for Anubis, then I don't have him at rank 2, but if you have all of this in, maybe instead of putting poison, you just put in the stones, and then for the pets, instead of everything, you just put in regular damage with Electra. That's how I see it. Now, the other case that you might actually use him is probably just Chaos, because, well, we have, where's my Chaos setup? Let's see. We have 5, 4 Chaos. All right, so there's an damage to dungeons by 50%. If you get a rank 2, it's 100%. If you get rank 3 or 4, it gets like 150, 200%. And by that point, like with like multi-shot 1 or 2, you just kill the boss so fast that it really doesn't matter to have poison or fire to stack. So the other option is Earth, but the problem is Chaos does not. There's no extra benefit from using Earth in Chaos. So that's the one scenario in which I actually might use Electra, just to increase the damage, just to increase your blitz, just how fast your blitz is. Because fire, and if you stack fire and you stack poison, they take some time to make it worth it. But if you just put damage, then you just, you know, you're just much faster now. Okay, the exception now is that one of the pets also does, I think it's the cat, or of 1,000 cats, also increases attack speed by 40%, which I honestly consider better than the damage, so, like, give and take, right? Maybe you already have enough attack speed, and that 40% attack speed doesn't do much, but you need more damage. You know, Aura of the Talon is there, but I would probably take the attack speed just a little bit more than Electra's. But Electra is pretty cool. Now, he has good attack speed, slightly lower damage, but if you're, for example, if you're using Anubis, like I'm going back to Anubis again. I'm just thinking about Anubis again and again. If I'm using Anubis, we don't want him to be hit a lot, and so the pet will actually help him do it a lot. Now, yeah, I'm gonna have lightning and stuff, which is fine, but if you don't have lightning for whatever reason, and lightning's not dealing enough damage at the moment, a pet could help you, right? And this pet ricochets, which means it'll hit 2 people at once, and anyone who's around you will be hit. You might be able to kill them before they deal some damage to you as Anubis. Especially in Abyssal Dark Forest, you're not healing normally, so this pet will protect you by killing off the minions that suddenly run around you like little bombs and stuff. I'm gonna do like a quick Dark Forest. Let's just do Chaos, because honestly, I think this is good for Chaos. But I think it's only good for Chaos if you have like a 100%, 200% Chaos benefit from Titan gear. Right? You have like list rank 2, or at least 2 of these damage dungeons. So I'll do this a little bit in Chaos for fun. But aside from that, I don't see it being used that well. I just think it's better to set things up with Poison, Earth. Earth is 30%. It's pretty good. Attack speed, I think, is probably mostly better than 20%. Like 40% attack speed is probably better than 20% damage, unless of course your setup doesn't allow for it. Hunter HP maybe is good for, like, I mean, if Anubis probably, because just so you don't die. Fire, yeah, I mean, everything else just seems to be a little bit better. I don't know, maybe it is better to go against like a 30% is versus 20% isn't that big of a deal, and the 20% on Electra is the damage you deal plus the fire damage, right? So 20% on the hunter damage, 20% on fire damage. So maybe Aura of the Talon is a little bit better, but I can't really think of a I mean, if you're doing fire, you're just stacking, you're trying to deal a lot of damage over time. So honestly, this is probably just for Blitz. This is like earth damage, but probably a little bit better. It's like adding extra 20. It's like adding a power stone, right, to your. Yeah, this is basically adding a power stone when earth damage does not is not boosted, like negative 100% or something. Okay, let's get into some Chaos. You guys have seen Chaos. We're gonna go real quick. I'm gonna put him on my Chaos list. We're gonna switch things up. I'm gonna take away the poison and put like just a random other. We'll put something like for area damage, right? Just to farm, we're gonna put some level 7 Blast Novas. All right, guys, let's get into it.
Living around potential targets such as military bases and chemical plants may be advised to evacuate.
Stay kind.